Hello and welcome to BQ Prime. A very good morning to all the viewers. I'm Hiral Dadia. Clearly, if you see, in terms of markets, good trades that we've been witnessing, slightly somber moves in today's session. We've hit a high of 19,641 already and seen gains of 3/10 of a percent. However, there is pressure with regards to the banking names. And as you see, even on Friday's session, we have the PSU banking space that clearly outperformed the benchmark indices. It is earnings season and a lot of stock specific action is what we are witnessing in trade. Joining us on the show to discuss in terms of what investors should be doing, we have Vijay Chopra from Enoch Ventures. Vijay, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Hiral. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing good as well. Thank you so much. Vijay, my first question coming to you is let's start with HDFC Bank. You know, the merged entity trades today for the first day. What's your view and what would you advise investors to do?
Well, we have seen a behemoth coming out of HDFC and HDFC Bank merger. And I think that, it is one of those stocks which I consider as a portfolio stock, which has to be passed down as a legacy. But yes, post the run-up, which we saw, close to 1760, the stock has corrected about 100, 120 rupees. But I think that let it consolidate. If, people want to get into it afresh, I think that 1600 would be a good level to get into and around those levels. And those who are holding, they should keep on holding. These corrections are a part and parcel of a bull market. And my sense is that, it is definitely going to come up very, very strongly. So HDFC Bank is a hold, and if somebody wants to buy a fresh, wait for 1600 levels. That would be a great level to get it.
Right. So that's with regards to HDFC Bank. Moving on, DMart reported numbers. Now, clearly, the first quarter has been disappointing, but there is commentary which still gives you that there is faith that investors have in terms of DMart. Vijay, what do you make out of it? And secondly, from a valuation perspective as well, how would you look at a DMart?
Well, I think that it's a good company, and lately when we see that, that people are thronging to the malls and, to various places to buy stuff. The apparel companies are doing good, restaurant companies are doing good. People are definitely now on the spending spree. So companies like DMart should do well over a period of time. But yes, there have been inflation pressures. The purchasing power of people has gone down lately. We saw the inflation numbers which were troubling, and but I think that Avenue Supermart or DMart is on the side of staples, so that this won't be a big problem. So if at all somebody wants to get afresh into the stock, I think that 3650 odd is a good level to get into, and people who are holding should keep on holding to the stock. One more technical point I would like to mention here, that on the chart, seemingly there would be a golden crossover very soon. So the stock is definitely showing a bullish trend, and the numbers are, I won't say disappointing, but there was a mild growth, which I think the company has capability of cutting costs and increasing their profits and bolstering their bottom line. So definitely huge respect for Mr. Damani, who heads this company, and I'm sure that it's going to come back very sharply. So I'm overall bullish on the retail side with the festive season coming in post monsoon. I think that these 3, 4, 5 months are good for any company, so to say. So these numbers are expected to improve in the next couple of quarters.
Right, so that's with regards to DMart. Moving on, you have a JSW Energy which reported numbers. The revenue and profits are down. What do you make of the numbers and what would you advise investors to do?
Well, I think that it has a great parentage, but I'm not very, very convinced with the valuation of the company. I think it's a bit overstretched, and but the kind of numbers this company showed, I think that they could be better in numbers, because we are an energy hungry country and we need a lot of energy. So I think that if somebody wants to get afresh into the stock, should wait for 275 to 80 levels to come, and people who are holding can hold on. Again, on the charts it looks bullish, So technically, I think that it has the potential of going up to 350, 360. But again, people who want to get a fresh, wait for some correction, and 270, 280 would be a great level to get into. So again, I'm saying that, valuation wise, I find, companies like Tata Power and NTPC much better valued than JSW Energy. But yes, on the charts, it looks bullish. So for I think another 40, 50 rupees, people can definitely get into the stock. But wait for a bit of more correction if you want to get a fresh. People who are holding should get out at 350, 360.
Right. So that's with regards to JSW Energy. Moving on from the banking space, you have a Bandhan Bank where we did see a beat in terms of profitability. However, the asset quality has, deteriorated. The NPAs have risen. What would you make of a Bandhan Bank?
I would avoid a Bandhan Bank because there are many, many other good options in the banking space you can latch on to. I think that the public sector banks like Union Bank are great. UCO Bank, seemingly is very good. Bank of India, Indian Bank, these are public sector banks which are undervalued, completely undervalued. The asset quality has improved, the profitability has improved, the CASA deposits have improved. So I think from a Bandhan Bank, one should shift to PSU banking, which looks much better on the charts as well as fundamentals.
Right. So that's with regards to Bandhan Bank. Moving on, you have a style as well with GTS Smart, opening in trade today. What do you make of the numbers? And, what's the fundamental view on the stock as well now?
Well, I think that technically it is definitely overbought, and I would recommend that one should book profits if somebody is holding and wait for correction to happen. If you ask me fundamentally, Just Dial is into a business where I think the likes of Google and other, even there are AI chatbots nowadays which can find you whatever you want. So I think that Just Dial needs to improvise or maybe revamp their entire business model, the way they are functioning, to be relevant in the coming years. If I talk about the next 5 years, if Just Dial stays in the same business and doesn't change the business model or the way they're doing business, probably it would become a city cable.
Wow. Okay. So that's it. Moving on, Angel One is an interesting one. The stock did open lower, and this is on the back of NSE imposing penalties as well. They've been barred from onboarding new authorized persons over or F&O violation. How do you see the impact? Because a couple of brokerage notes are saying that it's less than 1% in terms of revenue, but clearly, do you see further impact from here on?
Well, I think that the exchanges and SEBI have been coming very harshly on the market participants. I consider APs as the extended arms of any broker. That's how a broker reaches the nooks and crannies of the country. They are able to reach out to more customers. Even in the tier 2, 3 towns, villages, there are APs who are serving clients. But yes, because the amount of compliances are changing so fast, and the number of compliances have gone up so considerably. There are times when people are not trained properly or they are not aware, and there might be things which are slip ups. But yes, I think that this comes with a great responsibility for the brokers as well, that they need to keep a check on what APs are doing. There are unscrupulous people in the system, which try to bend the rules. But I think that Angel One would come back, because this is something temporary, and maybe they have tried to take a stay in the court as well for this order. So let's see what the court order comes out to be. But yes, brokers have made a killing. The number of demat accounts are increasing day by day. The participation in the markets has gone up considerably. So Angel One is one of the good brokers where they have a good online platform.
Hmm.
So that is the reason we saw such a mighty increase in the stock prices. But I think that it will come back sharply. This is a temporary phenomenon.
Right. So that's with Angel One. Moving on. Root Mobile, a smart up move, Vijay, on that one. You have Proximus Opal who's looking to acquire Root Mobile. In fact, they've already entered into a SPA. And the promoters are planning to sell almost 57.6% overall. Now, the Proximus Opal open offer for the 26% stake is around at 1,620 of 6.40. Firstly, what do you make of this acquisition, and what would you advise investors who are holding Route Mobile to do?
Well, I think the promoters are completely trying to get out, the Guptas. I would recommend that the stock has moved up considerably. One should book profits and wait on the sidelines. If you want to be on the tech side, there are great companies like Wipro. Even you can buy a TCS at these levels, or an HCL Tech, or an Emphasis. Why to be in Route Mobile? So I would sit on the sidelines and wait and watch and book profits.
Right, so book profits in terms of Route Mobile. Moving on, Atul Auto has seen a sharp up move in today's session. I think 12.5% was the kind of up move, Vijay, that we saw on Atul. What is it that's making Atul move in trade today, and what would you recommend?
Hiral, I missed you. What stock are we talking about?
Atul Auto.
Atul Auto.
Hmm.
Okay, so again, let me go through the charts once. Seemingly, the charts are very good, but it is a gap up opening today, so there's a gap which the stock has left. There are good chances that it might come back, but yes, at the levels of about 340, it's a good buy. And I think the entire auto space is undergoing a revamp and a re-rating. Look at Maruti. What has happened. They have touched a all-time high. So I think that Atul Auto has the potential of going up to 400 odd. So wait for a correction if somebody wants to get a fresh, and again book profits if the stock goes directly to 400.
Right. So that's with regards to Atul Auto. And very lastly, for Metropolis Healthcare, which gained in trade, and this was on the back of the Q1 core business update, where the revenues have grown around 12%. What's your view in terms of Metropolis, Vijay?
Hiral, the stock has corrected from the highs very, very considerably. With a high of about 3,600, the stock came down to almost 1,100. So it was almost one third. Presently trading at 1470 odd. I think that the chart formation also is very good. Plus, these companies which are into lab testing and all these companies are doing well, and the numbers are also speaking. So I think that the stock can be bought into even at these levels if somebody wants to get into the stock or hold. I see a 1700 target coming on the stock.
Right. So that's with regards to the names that we've spoken. But very lastly, Vijay, I'm just noticing a trend. You have IT Bank, which has started their upward journey yet again. LTI Mindtree 3.5%, Wipro, Tech Mahindra, Infosys, all these four are the top gainers in terms of Nifty 50. And the run that we saw on Friday continues in today's session as well. What do you make out of this space, and what would you advise investors to do?
Well, I think that the last 1.5 years post the war has been absolutely pessimistic as far as the IT bank goes. We have seen a correction in the likes of even TCS, IT behemoths, bellwethers, getting corrected by 30-40%. So I think it's high time. IT is also considered as a conservative sector. Since the markets are at all-time highs, I would recommend that if at all you can book profits elsewhere and shift to conservative IT companies, it won't be a bad idea. As I said earlier, you can buy a Wipro. Wipro as it is at fantastic levels, 420 odd. This stock was trading at almost 700 rupees 1.5 years back. The likes of Wipro or an Infosys or a TCS, even an LTI Mindtree or LTTS, these companies are great companies to have in a portfolio. Emphasis. Keep on shifting to IT companies. I think there's a lot of steam left, and we'll see some fireworks in this sector.
Some fireworks that could be expected for this space. Thank you, Vijay, so much for joining us on the show and sharing those views. Clearly, a lot of movers and shakers, but IT stands out of the pack for a second consecutive session. In fact, we did speak to our analyst as well this morning. You can go back to our website to hear more in terms of, what is in store for the IT bank. But clearly, though there is some bit of pressure in terms of SBI Life, Hero Moto, ONGC, HDFC Life. So your life insurance companies are the ones which are seeing some bit of pressure in today's day of trade. That's all that we have on this side. Thanks for watching, and lots more lined up on the other side. Please stay tuned to BQ Prime.